Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Prachi.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Just like
Morning,
that,
everyone.
8 weeks done. We are now moving on to a 7 week of learning. How wonderful. 2 months of learning. How beautiful. Inward learning. Amazing. Fantastic. Okay, anybody wishes to read?
I can read.
Yes, please. Let's start. We are in our 7th week. A very warm thank you to Nitya Shanti and Roshni for introducing us to Unified by Roger Lanphier. And here we are on our 7th week. Let's start.
Okay, 7 week. You can hear me?
Absolutely.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you're heard.
Heard. Okay. Correcting thoughts. Anything that is created begins with a thought. The thought of something really is that something, only at the most refined vibration. Everything in the universe begins with God's thought about creation. You are, in the most elementary sense, a thought of God. Rather, you are a part of that marvelous, perfect thought that created all. Being a part of that thought, you are also the whole. God's thought that gives rise to creation is indivisible. His thought, his one thought contains the entire blueprint for the cosmos and every single atom and soul. Furthermore, God is not separate from his thought, and any more than you are separate from your thought. That is why you are one with God. There is no other logical. God is very much in tune with one, with the thought that created us. You are really that thought in your most refined state. So you are one with God because we are the one thought that created everything. We can know everything about that thought. We are not just a separate aspect of that thought. No, we are created to know everything contained in God's thought that created everything. That means you can choose to think any aspect of God's thought you wish. If it's just like tuning into a radio station, you tune into any knowledge about creation. One thing absolutely certain about God's thought is that it embodies all of God's qualities. You are of God's thought, and you embody all of God's qualities, and so does every other aspect of God's thought. When you tune into some aspect of God's thought, you you can be 100% certain to experience love, happiness, joy, bliss, truth, pure intelligence, peace, gentleness, unboundedness, energy, abundance, and non judgment, to name only a few. This is your experience that God planned in His thought when He created you. Remember, all of creation begins with a thought. You are a creator because you are made in the image of God, and He is indisputably a creator. You create. Your creation also begins with a thought. Then you experience what you create. If you begin with some aspect of God's thought that created the cosmos, you will have a creation just like God's creation. Your creation can then only give you the experience of God's qualities. Only those qualities are inherent in this thought. No other qualities are there. His thought cannot manifest what it doesn't have. This is a foolproof method for living life in heaven. Then to err is not human. Then life is not a struggle. Then all the forces of nature come to your aid as you experience only God's qualities. A glance around the world indicates that it is not happening. What went
Good
wrong?
morning.
E- Even your own life appears to include some struggle, some errors, some pain. What went wrong? Nothing went wrong. Even your seeming errors, struggle, and pain point to your divinity and perfection. Remember, you are made in the image of God. God is a sovereign. He created you with His thought, and so are you sovereign. Another way of saying you have a free will. You are also a creator in God's image, and you create with your thoughts. God's thoughts, God's thought, which you are one with, is available for you. You can choose to tune into that thought. That is your choice. If you're free, it is your free will to use His thought for your creation, or you can choose to think a thought of your very own. Then your creation will have the qualities you assign to it. Many, many times you have chosen your own thoughts that created a miserable experience. That doesn't mean you are miserable. That's impossible. You can't change the perfection you are. However, as a creator, you can create and experience what happens less than perfect. Only when you start with God's thought can you be assured of perfection and all those other wonderful qualities. It is, in a very real sense, the world you create by your own thoughts is an illusion. It is not the truth. Truth has permanence. Truth never changes. Truth describes the thought of God that created us and the cosmos. That thought is truth. The thought tells that thought tells of happiness, never sadness. It tells of bliss and joy, never despair. It tells of intelligence, never mistake. It reveals abundance, never poverty. It brings infinite energy, never weakness. It is the hallmark of peace, never turmoil. This truth is simply God's thought that created the universe. The choice is yours. You can choose to create with God's thought or make up one of your own. God would have it no other way. You are created sovereign. You are created with a free will. You are created a creator. The fact you do create proves your divinity. The fact you do create proves your divinity, even if you choose to create a hell. Today, you begin to change the nature of your creation. You change your creation to be exactly like God's thought. Your creation, your life, and your experiences are to have only God's qualities. You can pretty much tell what your thoughts are by looking at your creation. If you are in debt and are afraid of the poor house, you have thoughts of lack and fail to realize the abundance in God's thought. If you are lonely and without anyone to share love with, you have thoughts that you don't deserve love or that it doesn't exist, that it isn't true. You say, for you insist you want love and you want help. That isn't true. You say, for you insist you want love and you want wealth. Of course, you want them. You want the experience of all God's qualities. You want them with passion. Then desire is ingrained as part of your nature. It is how you were created. You cannot get rid of the desire of for love and for abundance, for knowledge, for joy, for peace, etc. It is a part of you. Nevertheless, there is some thought, probably even subconscious, that denies your creation the qualities you desire. How can I possibly change my thought if they are subconscious? You ask. Until now, it has been very difficult. Today, you start that process. Gradually, methodically, but certainly, you will change your thinking so that it will create with God's qualities. You will tune into God's thought and claim it as your own. Every day of this week, read this lesson, read, read each sentence slowly and digest its meaning. And during a quiet period, after focusing in the heart and getting your higher self signal, say, dear, your name, my higher self, may now reveal to me some of the errors in my thinking. Then sit quietly and let your higher self communicate. You will realize some thoughts that are creating havoc in your life. Write down those thoughts as they come to you. The lesson for this week is simply to identify these thoughts you need to correct. Notice in your activity throughout the day what your experiences are. Then, in your next quiet period, say, reveal to me your name, my higher self, the thoughts I have that gave me the experience of dash. This inventory is very important. You need to know the nature of your own thoughts before you can correct them. Your higher self gives that to you. This week, when you lie quietly in bed before going to sleep, think of those people who have been in your life. For each one, realize that he or she has reacted to you you determine by your thoughts. Take a full credit or blame for your experience with them. Send to each love from your heart, feeling it go to them. Then forgive each, knowing what forgiveness really means. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayashree. Thank you. Yes, Mita, you may please leave. That's perfect. So, any reflections, or should we start to meditate? Any updates in the last week? Jayashree, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay, let's meditate and let's see what's unfolding for all of us. Let's close our eyes, our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground below, our hands in a Buddha pose, the Gyan pose, Dhyan pose, or just facing heavenwards. Let's inhale in love. Feel the love pulsating in your body, in every part of your being. Exhale love ever so gently. Inhale bliss in your body. Every cell of your being is blissful. Inhale light. Feel it flooding your body and dispelling all darkness within you. Exhale light and brightening the world outside. Life is love. Life is a blessing. Life is joy. We are blessed. We are God. We are love. We are abundance. Today, we will connect with our higher self and go in minutes of silence, invoking answers from within. Let's name our higher selves individually. Dear higher self, now reveal to me some of the errors in my thinking. Let's sit quietly and realize our thoughts that are creating havoc in our lives. After meditation, whatever thoughts that come to us, let's journal them, write them down. Let's simply identify these thoughts that we need to correct. Let's again redirect the question to our higher self. Dear higher self, now reveal to me and let my errors be known to me in my thinking. Whatever errors I've made in my thinking, please let me know about them. Reveal them. Dear higher self, thank you for speaking to me and letting me know wherever I was erring in my thinking. Now please reveal to me, dear higher self, the thoughts that I have that gave me the experience of this particular thing. Thank you, dear higher self, for guiding me. This week I will keep asking you where I went wrong and how can I correct, and why I experienced what I did. What thoughts made me experience what I did. I'm a person in progress and I'm looking forward to this inward journey. Let's bow down our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth for grounding us, rooting us, and connecting us with the higher self. We are truly the blessed ones to be connected to a higher self, to have this conversation, realizing we're divinely guided. Let's thank our universe for these blessings, to the Supreme Being, and to our higher self by looking at heavens above. Dear Supreme Being, thank you for the constant connection to my higher self. Dear universe, thank you for making us understand where we're going wrong, for having our backs. Dear divinities, thank you for showering us. Dear angels, thank you for giving us all kind of clues. Dear guardians, thank you for protecting us in your realm. Let's bring a hand to the heart level. I am love. I am light. And I shine bright, going inward and finding all possibilities and all things by divinely guided by my higher self. And so it is. Let's close your hands together and rub them. Let's energize our head, our faces, our necks, our foot pipe, our shoulders, arms, our backbone, upper back, middle back, lower back, our hips, our lungs, heart, stomach area, gut area, full of the dry one, our thighs, knees, calves, ankles, toes and feet. Let's bless ourselves, our blood circulation system, muscles, tissues, fibers, glands, skin that protects us. Dearest body, I now realize that I am connected with my higher self, my soul, and you are growing differently. Dear mind, you're tuning into the higher self. Thank you for this beautiful gift of realization, awakening. We will now be connected in oneness and discover where we went wrong and the thoughts that brought up that wrong. Dear higher self, thank you for your guidance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we now invite the healing energy from within to bless, support, love, and share our abundance and light with our Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. Shelly, Ritu, Preeti, Ratinaji, Poonam, Yashiji, Anjaji, Mom, Prithvi, Reema, Basaprata. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's connect tomorrow morning for this inward journey to be continued.